Welcome to Naturally Kim's Knitting. This is a podcast about some spinning and knitting and dyeing of yarn that I do right here at my home outside of Lima, Ohio. And you can tell it's my home because I have my own daughter or granddaughter's gorgeous artwork on the wall. Anyways, in this home I live here with my puppy dog Ginger Snap and my kitty cat Purdy and my dear sweet husband Randy, who happens to be out of town and out of state for he's been out of state for the past 2 days and he's going to be out of state till this afternoon. Yay. Anyways, today is February 21st and this is episode 103. So excited. I want to welcome everybody who's watching today. Whether you're a new viewer or you've been watching me for a while, I welcome all of you. I love you all. You are just so wonderful, and you're the reason that I get in front of the camera every week and do this. We do have a new member in our Ravelry podcast group, ShearedFibers, who is Roxi from Montana, and Gilly Girls 13. Hi, and welcome to both of you. I hope you feel welcome here and feel free to join in any of the threads or just sit back and enjoy for a while, whichever. So I'm changing up the format a little bit. I was watching a couple podcasts, Skein Deer Knits, and I can't think who else, that they do their administration at the beginning, and I thought, why not? So I want to remind everybody about the Crafting for Self knit along that's going on right now. The rules are in the Ravelry page. Yeah, that would be the best place to find the rules for it. Basically, it's, anything that you knit for yourself, when you finish it, you post it on the Ravelry thread, Crafting for Self, knitting or crocheting, I should say, along with a pattern name if you have one, and then we can all just enjoy looking at your beautiful creations. They are all wonderful. I love them all. I've gotten some inspiration for the future, which may be good or may be bad. As you know, I can kind of hoard things sometimes. Okay, and coming soon, in just a couple weeks, we're going to have our double time, which is double knitting. Craft along, or it would have to be knit along since it's double knitting. So you have time to find patterns, find your materials. There's some bookmarks on Ravelry that are free if you just want to try something small, or scarves aren't too difficult if you'd like to try one of those. So you have a couple weeks to get everything together. Yay! So let's see, what else? Okay, it's time for what's on the needles now. I should tell you, on the craft alongs, prizes that we have for each one of them. I haven't decided which one's which, but there will be a skein of my Napier's Knits yarn, one for the double time and one for the Crafting for Self. This one, I always have to look, Stars at Sunset, because I have another colorway that I love. Oh, it has purple in it. I should have known. But this is Stars at Sunset. And then this is, sorry, I should turn it the right way, Purple Swallowtail, and this is a variegated. They're both variegated, in fact. No, I'm sorry. This is a gradient. This is a variegated. Yay! You would think I don't know this yarn. I made it enough. But they're both based on my Stellina base, which is a shiny yarn, and it's 75 merino, superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% Stellina. I love these yarns, and my granddaughter and daughter named both of these. Then additional prizes that we have coming up for the giveaways are, I am sorry, I do not know the name of this yarn. I got this from Knitcraft a while ago, and it was up for a prize, but nobody had claimed it. So a possible prize are these two skeins of yarn, along with a beautiful feel-good craft bag with drawstring handles. So that's a possible prize. My yarn will be a definite prize. Other things, it depends on how many entries we have. Then I have this made by Betsy Green. Thank you, Betsy. She does such a beautiful job. Is this beautiful double point needle keeper. Oops, sorry about that. It has cute little birdie, looks like owls maybe on the outside. A little birds, different birds, and a beautiful geometric design on the inside. With little snaps, so your double point needles will not fall out once you put them in there. Wonderful. And then another prize will be the cocoon collection, which I reviewed last week on the show. And I decided that I can live without some of those patterns. So it's going to go to one of you guys. It's a wonderful book, don't get me wrong. I love the book, but you've seen how many pattern books I already own. Somewhere along the line, something's got to go. So I decided that would be a prize sometime. It depends how many entries we have for each thing. Okay, so on my needles. Yes, I have worked on my daughter's afghan. I have worked quite a bit on it. I have worked 12 squares, maybe more, since we last talked. Basically, it's this area in here. There's been a lot of the same colors. Which are not showing up true on the camera. I apologize. I've had some forest heather. I've had some pea pod, and I've had some merino. As you can tell, a lot of merino, which means that there was a lot of the same temperature range on those days. And I'm knitting that out of Knit Picks Swish DK. Soft yarn. I did a DK because she lives in California. For those of you who are new and do not know, my daughter lives in California, so they don't need a super heavy blanket, but there are times when it gets a little bit chilly out there. Now, the pattern I got from, oh my goodness, it's been so long since I've looked on here. Weathergan. You just do a Google for Weathergan, and then you put in your zip code, the zip code you want, and the dates that you want. And they print you up a nice little chart like this. Now, I have changed the colors so that they don't quite match each one of them. Then I put a little check mark beside the ones I do. Because, which I'm thinking for my sons, when I finally get to his, it'll be different. Because they give you, it depends. Less than 0 is 1. 1 degree to 21 is another. Oh, and you can choose Celsius or Fahrenheit. 1 to 21 is one color. Then they do a 10 to 12 degree for most of the rest. And then 100 and above. I just broke mine down to 10 degree increments because I just wanted to do that for her. But like I said, my sons, I may go back and do it the way they recommend. I have got one test knit for CC to complete. And oh, I tell you, the patterns are beautiful. This book will be released the end of April, and I'm going to see if at that time, if I can't have a giveaway for one of her books. Sorry, I've got a sore lip. They are also beautiful. There's socks, a cowl, a shawl, a wrap. I feel like there's lots of socks because, we love socks. So anyways, one remaining and it is beautiful. It is the wrap. I've got enough of it done that I was able to, test the pattern test as a success, but I can't show it to you yet. So that is still a secret. Excuse me. I have to scooch my notes up. Then, oh, I love this. My Ladybug shawl. I have gotten to the lacy work. Don't know if you can see it, but it is lacier up here. Yes, you can kind of see the pattern there. It's gorgeous. This is where I was when I podcasted last week. I will move that up today, although, well, no, I probably will not be finished because you get to the longer rows and it does take a while. But this is done on US4, which are 3.5 millimeter needles. I'm using Stroll Gradient, which you can tell I haven't really got too much to the gradient yet, but look what's coming. Stroll Gradient in the BFF colorway. And this was left over for one of my test knits for CC. Oh, and it comes from this book, Soft Yarn Shawls, which I reviewed once. And I do love the patterns. I'm just basically working my way through it. So this is, I just want to make sure I didn't skip one for some odd reason. Yep, this is the second shawl. So there's that. Let's see. Then I have, sorry for my reaching, my next Chemo cap. I have not finished it, but I do have it started. And this is, isn't that pretty? This is made out of the cotton candy yarn. I bought this at the big yarn sale that my local yarn shop was having last year. And it's a 50-gram ball, 120 yards. It's 100% cotton, and it is soft. So I thought this would be wonderful for whoever might want it. And this is colorway 15. They don't have creative names for their... Sorry, I was reading something. They don't have creative names for the colors, but it is white with flecks of pink in it. I was going to make dishcloths out of it. Then I read somewhere that cotton yarn, especially if it's the soft cotton, makes ideal hats for chemo kids. So that's what I want to do. Let's see. I have a homespun scarf that I've just started, but it's not far enough along for you to see much of. I'll have more of it done next week. Oh yes, and soon to be started is my, Which Way is Up. This was a Ravelry pattern. I do believe it costs to buy it, but this is going to be for Tobias, my grandson, and it's by Amy Gunderson. I'm sorry, I keep leaning back. And after asking my husband's opinion, I've decided that this is going to be the main color. It will be big stripes with this being the contrast, being the arrows mainly. This I got from Michael's. Sorry, it's the Corone Big Cakes. And what's the colorway? It's 603 yards. Pepper cream. And then the other comes from Sincere Sheep. I got this at the Lambtown Festival last fall when I was out at my daughter's. And I just haven't... It's a sport weight. But I don't know that it has a color. Sorry, I don't think it has a color name. But it is pretty. And I'm hoping the two will work together with enough contrast that the arrows show up. And I'm hoping to see, I'm debating how many things I want on my needles at the same time. But I can't leave my grandson and my granddaughter and my own daughter out of the picture. I have a yarn and a pattern for my daughter, but somehow hers keeps getting pushed back. But for my granddaughter, the Knitting Expat, I love her podcast, and I love her designs. Mina Phillips, she designed the Nahid dress for her daughter, and I got curious because I really liked it, and I thought, let me see what sizes I can make it in. And wouldn't you know it, she has a size for 4 through 6 year old. 4 to 6. So that's what I'm going to make for my granddaughter, and then I'm going to make the main part of the dress this, which I also got at that yarn sale. This is Lang Jewel Magic Degradé. It's a superwash. Colorway. Probably doesn't have one. You know how that is. It probably just has a number or something. Oh, come on. They put it at the other end. I untucked the wrong end. And it could be down there, but I can't read whatever language that is. It is a superwash nylon blend. I had thought about making socks out of it. It must be color 0048. So anyways, I got these two skeins, but then I thought that's not going to be enough. And then I found this one that I also bought at the same time, but I was saving for something special. And this is something special because, as we know, my grandchildren are very special to me. And this is a really soft yarn. It's called Milk and Honey by Viking. It's cotton and milk fiber. And I thought, why not? And I kind of like those colors together. So that's going to, so the trim will be out of this. And this will be the main dress. I figured, I hope she likes that. Oh, I forgot. Because these aren't on my show notes yet. And I need to put them on there. I'm doing a pair. As you know, I prefer to do toe-up socks. But I thought, I cannot let this defeat me. The grafting of the toe at the end always flummoxes me, because I made a pair ages ago, one of my first top-down pair of socks, and my son wanted it, so I gave it to my son, and the toe fell apart within a month. Now, granted, he does wear them hard, but that shouldn't have happened. But look at these. I have to find the yarn. Name, the yarn band is in the kitchen. But look at that. I'm doing two at a time. Cuff down. So we will see how far I get. I've got the cuff done, and I'm just getting ready to figure out what kind of pattern I want to make the rest of it. So, oh, and this is the gradient that I'm using. Yay! I balled it up and I divided the yarn in half so I could work to it once, and I'm hoping it works out right. So that's everything that's on my needles and coming to my needles. Now, I have finished, ta-da, my scrap yarn socks. I just want to make sure, yeah. I haven't, I say I finished, I haven't tucked in the end or woven in the end. This is the second sock. Oh, goodness. This is the second sock. This is the first sock. And other than the heels and toes, this was one skein, or one ball of leftover yarn. The same color, I mean. So look at that. Isn't that cool? Yes, I will wear it. Yes, it's going into my box of socks for this year. Yay! One pair done. I don't know if I'll get 12 done. We will have to see. But one done. Yay! I just finished those last night. I said I didn't want to go to bed till it was finished. And then, uh-oh, it was under my chair. I apologize, which is what I propped my camera on. I finished. It's going to have to be a child scarf because it's very short. Homespun scarf out of that beautiful, beautiful color. But it's very short. I guess I shouldn't have made it as wide. But I'm hoping a child will be able to appreciate it. Now, the things that have made me happy this week. Well, in addition to getting my Michael's yarn from Michael's, which has made me happy. My Bible study, which I didn't get to go to last week. My back had caused me so many conniption fits the night before that I just, sorry, I was looking at something, that I just decided not to go last week. And yeah, I do miss it. Sorry, water. But I didn't think I could go and sit in the chairs last week. So anyways, sorry, my nose itches. The other thing that makes me happy is I got, there it is. You wouldn't believe, you know, with all the projects and everything that I have going on around me, you know, it just, I get a little bit overwhelmed with stuff. I got my knit crates order. This is gorgeous. Now, if you remember, I told you that this wasn't going to have any nylon in it, and it doesn't. But this is 100% merino, which will make a lovely, lovely shawl. They say you could make a pair of socks out of it, but I've made socks without nylon in it before, and they just fall down. They don't retain their stretch. But seeing as how I love shawls, this is going into a shawl. This is Vivacious 4-ply finger weight yarn. I want to get everything in. By Fibers, Fiberspates, FYBERSPATES, luxury yarns. Now, if I think about it, I'll put it down here what it is. But this is 100% superwash merino, which I like that it's superwash. Let's see, 365 meters or 399 yards. Machine washable, which is nice. And this is the deep aqua colorway. Now, they have a theme every month, and this month's theme was petrichor. And petrichor, I'm a Doctor Who fan, and there is a time when petrichor gets brought up there. But I will read what they say. Petrichor is the smell after the rain. And this shipment calls to mind the soothing sounds of rainfall, the glistening shine of wet pavement, and enhanced green of trees. The world comes alive in new ways after a storm, the light shining and reflecting against newly slick surfaces. Very, very beautiful. Now, in addition to this, they did send some fiber wash. I didn't open these because I thought there was only one in here. And there's more than one. Excuse the plastic rattle sound. This is nice. So they sent me Pineapple Grove by Soak. And then they sent, and it says, sweet on the inside. Then they have Fig, which says fresh picked clean, and Yuzu, clean with a peel. They sent those. And then, of course, they sent a pattern by, actually, they sent the link so I can get the pattern, by Suzanne Chagrin, Oma's Tears. So that's the pattern. And then they sent, of course, discount codes on the back of their card. So, you know, it's, I said it last week, it's a wonderful, or last time, it's a wonderful, I didn't know they have a knit along. I just noticed that. It's a wonderful package because you get more than what you pay for. And then with the, they have two discounts, bonus codes. One is for also something else off of Suzanne Chagrin's on Ravelry, and then another one for soap wash. Wonderful value, I think. Anyways, I'm really happy with it. Something else made me happy. Of course, I've got a pair of socks for my box of socks. I got a scarf. Oh, I did put it in there. I'm trying to put in my resolutions on my show notes when I've completed something. So, anyways. So, what am I reviewing this week? Well, sorry, I had to back up so I could cross my legs. I love this book. I love this book. And since I'm no longer affiliated with Amazon, I've only put the Barnes & Noble link up this week. If you guys would still like to see the links for Amazon, I can do that. I just won't receive anything from it. But this is called Country Weekend Knits. And this is a hardback. I don't even know if it comes in any other form. And it's by Madeline Weston. I love Celtic knits. I love country knits. I've discovered this over the years. And, oh my goodness, they have Gansies. They talk about Gansies. And then they show you the Pulpero pattern jacket. I like that. I like knitting jackets too. I like that hat too. And there you can kind of see a close-up of the pattern. My goodness. And they said it can be made to fit a man or a woman. Then they have the New Biggin pattern sweater. I like that too. It's another Gansey knit. I'm going to be designing another sweater before long. So I really do not want to get into these sweaters yet, because that would be too many sweaters. I'm going to get overwhelmed. I have the yarn, and I have enough yarn, I believe, to make my husband and my son a sweater, but I don't know if they really want matching sweaters. So this is called Short Sleeve Cotton Shirt. I like that too. Okay, see? I told you, I love this book. And then they have Jacob's Ladder sweater. I'm sure I'll come across one in here I don't like. Possibly. Probably not. Five-banded Gansey. Look at that. Ooh, that kind of gives me an idea. I love inspiration. Sanquahar Gansey. The Gansey I'm going to make is all, it's not going to have contrasting colors in it, just patterns. Eriskay Gansey. Love that. Too many patterns. I'm not sure if it's Castor or Caster. Fisherman's Gansey. Oh my goodness. Flamborough Fisherman Gansey. I'll show you this picture. But then this is a better close-up of the pattern in it. Polpero pattern jacket. That's one we already saw. These are just the directions. So we're getting back to the directions for that section. Then we're going to Fair Isle knitting, which is something I want to try. Sorry, it feels like there's 2 pages. They just talk about Fair Isle. So this is a cross and flower Fair Isle crew neck. I do love Fair Island sweaters. I don't know that I necessarily like an all-over pattern, but I do like it. This is a cross and square fair. Cross and square Fair Isle vest. My husband would probably wear that. I kind of like this too. Diamond Fair Isle vest. Oh my goodness. Katie's Fair Isle vest. Keep track. There hasn't been any in here I haven't liked yet. You know I have kept the book. OXO Fair Isle crew neck. I love the colors. I love the patterns. It really gives me inspiration for some sweaters that I want to design in the future. So we've done Gansey. We've done Fair Isle. Now we're going to, I can never know how to say this, if it's Aran or Aran. A-R-A-N. I never know how to say it. They're named after the isle off of Ireland, but I still don't know how to say that. Cable and Moss Aran tunic. How gorgeous is that? Sorry, I keep saying that. The chevron Aran crew neck. Tree of Life Aran jacket. Oops, sorry. Let me know if you like the lighting better over here. I've tried different areas in my room and I'm never really sure. Wheat cable cotton sweater. Oh, how gorgeous. How beautiful. Fountain lace short sleeve sweater. My only difficulty is I wouldn't be able to button it because with my shoulders and my fingers, I would have troubles reaching behind, but it's still beautiful and I might be able to figure something else out. Classic cotton crew neck. Do love it. And that's it. I think that's it for the whole book. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I spoke too soon. My goodness, how could I forget this? Shetland lace. I get a lot of my robing from a gentleman in the Shetland Isles. John and Carolyn. Okay, this is a new shell pattern lace sweater. Oh, I love it. I'm not always a chevron knitter. or lover. But I love this pattern. Lace cardigan in an eyelet pattern. And I'm also not one for horizontal stripes all the time. However, I like the way this one looks. The old shell pattern lace sweater. My difficulty again is it does button up the back, but I could probably figure it out. Fern motif sweater. Oh. Then they have an old shell Shetland shawl. Old shell Shetland shawl. Try to say that 10 times fast. And then they just have the directions. And I tell you, there wasn't one in there I didn't like. Fastenings on some of them, but I can figure things out. Then in the back they have techniques. They do give a little history in each section about a history lesson about the kind of pattern that they're showing. But there wasn't one in there I did not like. Then they give you a source for the yarns that they used. So anyways, that's my crafting book review. That is Country Weekend Knits by Madeline Weston. And like I said, I put the link for Barnes & Noble if you would like. I can always go back to Amazon, but it's silly to go back not to have anybody use the link. So if anybody is interested in using my Amazon links, just let me know. I always put the Knit Picks links in for the yarns I use for Knit Picks. And I use, like I said, Barnes & Noble. So I had a question directed my way this week. Oh my goodness. I think it was from Envita. I didn't put down who it was from. Shame on me. But I believe it was from Envita. She goes, "Hi, Kim. What do you like knitting the most? Socks or shawls or blankets or sweaters or scarves or hats?" Well, I'm just going to go down her list. I love socks. It fascinates me how you can start off either end with a set of stitches that look like a tube until you get to this gorgeous heel. And I've not made a heel that hasn't fascinated me to see how it can come together, and it's just wonderful. So socks fascinate me. That's why I always have a pair on my needles. I shouldn't use the word always because there will be a time, I'm sure, where I won't. Sorry, it makes that noise. Shawls. I also love I love watching shapes, seeing how shapes come together. And I love how with shawls, you can just hold them up as you're knitting along and you can see how the finished item is going to look. So shawls, yes. Socks, yes. I love. Blankets, not so much. That's why it takes me so long. It's very hard for me to hold blankets up while I knit. The weight is very hard on my arthritis in my hands. So this is why it's taking me so long to make my daughter's blanket. Not because I don't love it. I do love the pattern. I love the yarn. But it is getting heavier. And I'm only through April. So, but if I set in my mind that I want to get so much done each day, I will try to do it. And that is something I can work on while I bounce on my exercise ball. That, my homespun scarves, and my hats. Now, next came sweaters. If there is a pattern or a design, I do not like having a stockinette stitch sweater. It bores me. I will put it down and it will take a lot of my willpower to pick it back up again. However, I love designing sweaters for my family. My next sweater that I design, I will try to put in Ravelry. My last one I didn't, and then I forgot what I did because I didn't write it down. This one I will write down. But sweaters are okay as long as they're not straight stockinette stitch. Like the sweaters that were in this book all have either a design, have a design of some kind, whether it's color work, lace, cables. That doesn't matter. I just love, if it has that in there, I will love working a sweater because I love seeing, once again, how the design grows and develops. Scarves. I don't like knitting them, but it's for a good cause this year. And my hand spun yarn is beautiful. Sorry, bragging. Sorry. But I like the way that it looks in scarves. I like the way it looks in hats, but the hats I make are for my chemo kids. Hats have a shape, and you can make many different designs. So those I do like too. Scarves, I know you can make many different designs with them, but the problem is you're doing the same design for, you know, a long, long time. And they're pretty when they're done. But once again, if I don't say I'm going to knit so much on this every day, I have a tendency to put the scarf aside and not pick it up. But I also, on my scarves, how many did I say I'd make this year? 12. I might be pushing myself. But I'm going to see. Scarves aren't my favorite, but I'm going to try and do it because it's for the people in the soup kitchen. Hats, they're okay. I don't mind doing them, but these are going to be for my chemo kids. So, yeah, hats and scarves, as long as they have a purpose, I will knit them. Blankets, like I said, if I weren't knitting this for my daughter, who I love so much, and the next one for my son, who I love so much, I wouldn't pick up an afghan. But socks, shawls, things like that, fingerless mitts, I do like making those. Sweaters at times, depends on the pattern. I love all those. Trying to think what else I'm working on that. I like things that fascinate me. I don't like boring stockinette stitching anything. Or garter stitch. That's worse, depending. If you're in the round or if you're, because garter stitch in the round, you have to knit a row, purl a row. Sorry, my show notes are turning off. No, I don't want to do that. So anyways, I hope that answered your question. I love having questions. Feel free to put any of your questions on the thread in Ravelry. I check Ravelry almost every day unless I'm gone. And then I check it the next day. So anytime that you guys put work in there or you put a question in there or whatever, I see it. Or comment on my show or the podcast. I feel weird calling it a show. I don't know why. That's what it is. Okay, let's see. Sorry, my show notes went down. Oh, my book reviews. I read 2 great books. One is called Heir to the Everlasting by Janice Dougherty. And it's a multi-generational book, which takes place in New Orleans, or Louisiana. It's in Big Daddy, Louisiana. And I love multi-generational books because it's fascinating to see the ties in the family as you go through the story. And it was a really good book. If you want to read the full book review, go ahead and go onto I have a link for it in my show notes. So go there and you can read it, but it was excellent. Then the other book I read, which I don't have it out here, is Judah's Daughter. Judas's daughter. Judas's wife. I put Judah in my show notes, which I'm looking at. It's Judas's wife by Angela Hunt. Now I'm thinking, is it Judas? I wish I had the book out here. I found the link, though, on Barnes & Noble. So whatever I typed in, there's the link there. And if it's Judas, I will change it. If it's not, I apologize right now. But it's about the Maccabees, which is, even though we understand somewhat what the symbols from the Maccabees represent, this book really brought it home to the persecution that was going on to the Jewish people there, and how bad it could be. And in this book, is by Angela Hunt, which I love the research she does for her books. It's just amazing. And so you know, even though it's a fictional book, it is based on facts, and you will find historical tidbits throughout. It's just wonderful. And then there's, you know that I watch Critical Role, which is a role-playing game based on Dungeons and Dragons, and it's on the Twitch channel. Well, they started something this week, which my scarf is a part of. It's called Caleb's Scarf, because one of the characters' name is a wanderer, and he's dusty, and somebody said he needed a scarf. And so she made him a scarf, and he showed it on air, and then he goes, however, I want to start a thing on Instagram and Twitter where people who make scarves, socks, hats, whatever that you donate, he wants to see how many people will link up. So you put down Caleb Scarf, hashtag Caleb Scarves, and you can put your items in there, and it'll be fast. I can't wait to see what people make for this. It will be wonderful. And so my socks, my hats, all those things that I make will be going also into Caleb Scarves. Although after you put the picture in there, then you donate them wherever you're going to donate them. You may have noticed that I've not been putting new links for my daughter's blog. And I asked her, I said, aren't you doing that anymore? I said, I really miss it. And she informed me that she is getting a web page up. And I said, you know, that's something I want to do, but you know, you're a mom. I'm never secure with things like that because I don't know how to do it right. So she's going to let me know as she goes along. So no, there aren't any more current ones since Christmas and beyond the schoolyard, but she is going to get a web page up, and when she has it up, I will let you know. My goodness, I feel like I talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. So it's time to wrap this up. You can find me on Ravelry as Napier's Knits, that's my personal page, or Naturally Kim's Knitting, which is the podcast group. On Etsy, I'm Napier's Knits. Instagram, I'm knittin_Kim. Then you can find me as Naturally Kim's Knitting on YouTube, Blogger, Facebook, and WordPress. And I will put this all at the end and possibly in the beginning. I lost my train of thought. Anyways, I thank you all for watching. I love you all. I hope you have a successful week with whatever crafts you might be doing. I hope you don't make any mistakes, but if you do, I hope they're easy to correct. I love you all. Big, big hugs to each and every one of you. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.